Well, when hiring an attorney, you want to make sure that he or she is committed to handling your case and getting you the best possible outcome. Our next guests take their commitment very seriously. So much so, they put it in writing for their clients. Attorneys Bud Kluik and Kimberly Kirkpatrick join us once again this morning. Good to see you both. Thanks for being here.
Good morning.
Thanks, Greg.
All right, so, commitment to your clients, Bud, is something you take really seriously. You actually put it in writing in a one-page document. Tell us about it.
Right, they're handed that right at the beginning when they come in for the initial interview. We do it very like clockwork. We talk about their case, we talk about family law generally, and at the end of it they're handed this one-page document called Commitment to Access to Justice and our policy towards retainers. And I walk out of the room and let them read it in quiet. It's a pretty simple one-page document. The first half of it is kind of our mission statement, first 3 paragraphs, and the bottom of it gives them 3 options by which they could retain our firm.
Yeah, and Kim, the commitment, is made real by really the way you guys structure your payments and retainers.
Well, right, and usually the most common model that people will follow when hiring an attorney is sort of a traditional retainer approach where they put a certain amount of money down as a retainer, and when they have used that up in legal fees that they've incurred, then they have to look at some kind of refreshing that. And we've found that for many people that we'd like to help with their problems and their legal situations, that initial amount of money as a down payment is just more than what they can handle. So in addition to that traditional model, we also have a structure where we allow people to make a smaller initial retainer and then pay monthly payments, kind of the same way that you would finance a car or any other major purchase.
It's really important to you guys to make sure that, the average guy, the regular guy, the middle class has access to good, experienced lawyers, isn't it?
Right, that's what the Commitment to Access to Justice is about. I mentioned that the first 3 paragraphs are kind of our mission statement, and that's essentially what it says, Greg. We have our share of, to be quite frank, wealthy attorneys, or wealthy, not attorneys, but our wealthy clients, but some of them might be attorneys. But in any case, the bulk of our practice is middle-class folk. Our main office, we have satellite offices throughout the county, but our main office is in La Mesa, not in La Jolla. We have a satellite office in La Jolla, but that's a kind of a middle-class area. Our average client is probably a teacher or maybe a police officer or either an officer or enlisted man in the military, Navy or Marines or whatever, Army or Coast Guard. And that's kind of the way that we roll. We're really focused on letting middle-class people have access to good attorneys and access to justice.
Yeah, not only good attorneys, but experienced attorneys. And we bragged about Kim's awards before. She's won a bunch of awards recently. And you're a certified family law specialist. And talk about why that's important, because there's less than 5%, probably less than 2% of all attorneys statewide are certified.
Right. Well, you have to take a second bar exam, Greg, and then you also have to jump through all these hoops, so to speak, in the sense of proving to the state bar you've had so many long trials, so many short trials, so many negotiated settlements, and so it's quite an onerous task to go through all that, and a lot of tasks to complete and a lot of hoops to jump through, as the phrase goes, and a lot of attorneys don't want to really tackle that, and so you're correct. It usually vacillates between 2% and 4% around the time that they give the specialist exam. And they give a lot more bar exams, the general bar exam, more often than the specialist exam. So when you have a special exam, there's a lot more of us, and then it goes, which is 4%, and then it goes down to like 2%. But 96 to 98% of attorneys are not certified specialists, so that is a demarcation. But between the 3 of our attorneys, we have between 35 and 40 years of experience.
Yeah, and I know one of the big things with you is getting back to people once after they hire you. The emails, the phone calls, promptly returned. And you have a great offer today. If people hire you to represent you in court, they get an hour free if they mention San Diego Living when they call.
That's true, Greg, but what we're trying to get them to do is to go through that website you see on the screen, and we will, as an email attachment, reply to them and send them a copy of the Commitment to Access to Justice that we're talking about, so they can actually see it on their computer screen and read that. But if they go through that process and ask us for a Commitment to Access to Justice, and they wind up hiring us to a case that's going to go to court, then we do the first hour for free. 1 hour free.
All right, and so they could read the commitment to the access to justice. You'll send them an attachment. So all they need to do is go to FamilyLawSanDiego.com or just call the number 619-448-6500.
Yes, exactly right.
It's on the screen. There we go. All right. Bud and Kimberly, always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You bet.
And of course, for more information, just go to our website, san diego6.com.